What's up, everyone? Kyros here, and today we're going to go over our fish guide, which we're going to be pretty much focusing on the support DPS aspect. She's an S plus rated character. She's amazing. We're going to try out some attack, we're going to try out some electro damage, and we're going to try out a couple different bows around her skill and normal attacking and stuff like that. So I'll have the chapters down below. You can check it out. And then once again, guys, here's all my socials. Come follow me on twitch.tv where we are playing the game. Subscribe, like, all that goodness. Let's go check her out. Hey guys, welcome on in. Here we go. We're gonna try and keep this as short as sweet as possible. So let's first cover her talents real quick. Now, covering her talents, she has her normal basic attack. She has her Knight Rider, which is her Oz that she's able to drop on the field and supply electricity support to her DPS or to anyone else's DPS. This is her best skill by far. Does a ton of damage, procs a ton of stuff, electro charged, whatever, overloaded, does a ton. I highly suggest you level this one. This is very, very good. I wish the duration was a little bit further, which I know at C6 you do get it, but it is what it is. And then you have her Q, which is really good, which also resets the cooldown of Oz, which is very good. So if you balance it correctly, you can go skill, burst, skill pretty effectively with using Fischl, which is going to give you a ton of support to your main DPS. So I highly suggest you level this 1 second. And then depending on if you're using Fish as your main DPS or you're trying to complement some DPS by using some bow attacks, is if you're going to level this or not. Now, looking at her constellations are great across the board. Her C1, more attack damage for Oz. C2, more attack damage for her burst. C4, more attack damage, even better. Her C6, more extension on Oz's duration and does more damage. She's just absolutely insane. One of the best characters by far. Now talking about her artifacts. So I'm going to showcase the damage numbers here, and we tested out a couple different builds. So I like to run her as a hybrid, meaning that I want her to be able to do some auto attack damage, and I want her Oz to do some pretty good damage. If you want to run her as a hybrid build, you're going to want to run attack set across the board. So we're talking, you're going to want attack on your main 3 pieces here in order to give you as much attack stat as possible. Now, by doing that, that's going to allow her auto attacks to hit decently hard, anywhere between 500, 1,000 damage, 2,000 damage, depending on the crits per attack, which is really, really good. It's also going to allow her Oz to continue to do really, really good damage and help you out there. Now, you could flex her as more of a support role where you're not really doing that much. Auto attack damage. And at that point, you would swap this out to the electro bonus damage. Having electro bonus damage here is actually going to help you out a ton with your odds damage. You can drop them, switch off them. It'll be very good. Those are pretty much the primary 2 sets. Now, talking about her best in slot artifacts, in my opinion, so take it for what it is, the gladiator set's going to go a very long way. So you get the gladiator sets from doing all these different activities for getting your ascension materials. The 2-piece artifact set, not the 4-piece. A complementary set that is good to round her out as well is getting 2 sets of the Thundering Fury, which is going to give that electro bonus damage, which is really good. Quickly, I do want to point out that the 4-piece bonuses actually can be really good on Fischl as well, but it does require a really fast attacking character like Child or maybe Ayaka that's coming up. So you could potentially use this, but I would use probably 2 pieces of 2 different sets as we're talking about. And then depending on what bow you're running, like I like to run Rust, but if you're running Slingshot or anything like that, if you have Stringless and you want to run her as purely as a support, you can obviously come over here and get the Gambler set, which is going to give you that 2-piece stacked on top of Stringless, which is going to give you an insane amount of elemental skill damage, which is going to up the damage of Oz. Unfortunately, that's going to tank the damage of your auto attack and a little bit of your Q damage, which is okay. So you really have to commit to a build or not a build. Now, quick tip, if you are going to run a 2-piece 4-star artifact that doesn't have a 5-star, put it into the slot that has HP raw and attack raw, so you're not ruining the potential of your other stats and your other 3 artifacts. Now, going over her weapons real quick, Rust, in my opinion, is by far her best weapon. This allows her to flex her as a hybrid DPS. You can use her a little bit as a main DPS. You can use her a little bit for Oz damage. You use her a little bit for Q. Everything's going to scale off attack damage. And as you get multiple Rusts, if you do get lucky and pull that, it does increase the normal attack damage, which is very, very good. Now, the other build we were talking about with running the Gambler set is the Stringless Bow. The Stringless Bow is going to go a long way with increasing that elemental skill damage and that elemental burst damage. Unfortunately, I have not leveled this bow up far enough due to resources, but it does supplement her as a pure support. So it will tank her raw auto attack damage, but you'll make it up in the Oz damage. And if you have another main DPS like Razor or Zhongli when he comes out, or Child or whoever, Klee, like, you're probably going to want to focus her more this way anyways if you're not really using auto attacks. Now, as a runner-up, besides the bow that you get from the battle pass, so if you did pick up the bow from the battle pass, that's a good bow for almost any bow user, so keep that in mind. But bows that you can pick up in the world, Slingshot is probably her best bow that you can pick up. It's better than most of the other 3 stars, and that's about the best you're going to do. Now, if you get lucky and pull a 5-star artifact, I don't think this is actually very good for her. I think this is better for someone like Tartaglia or Tartaglia. I can't think of anyone else in all honesty. So, Rust by far her best weapon. All right, I'm not going to talk too much about team comp because she fits everywhere. She's absolutely amazing. But what we are going to do is roll that sweet, sweet B-roll. Hit it!